silver for a second. Now, we talked about derivatives, we talked about bankers, we talked about paper. There's this tension, especially starting in the 1970s when they went all paper and no collateral, no gold. They went all paper, and so the problem with that is if you're going to go all paper, you got to make sure that people don't drift. They don't drift out of their paper and into precious metals like gold and silver. Because if the price of gold and silver start rising, people are going to be tempted to dump their paper and buy gold and silver. And if they do that, then the Ponzi scheme, that is the global banking system, would unravel. And they can't have that. They can't be possibly tempted into raising interest rates, which of course they should do, to stimulate the economy, because remember, you can't have capitalism without capital, no capital without savings, and no savings without high interest rates. So they decided to keep silver cheap, and keep silver very cheap. During this period of inflation, silver price has been really cheap. $5, $6, $9. It got close to $20, and then there was a massive raid by the banks to push silver price down. How did they do that? How does Blythe Masters keep silver price down? I offer Exhibit A, hang up over naked short selling. Blythe Masters, JP Morgan, sell contracts tied to silver that don't exist. If I buy an ounce of silver, they sell 10 ounces in the market that don't exist. But the pricing discovery mechanism is blind. It only sees order flow. It sees 10 sales and 1 buy, therefore it's a downtick. And they manipulate the price accordingly. And if you look under the U.S. Patent Office, 5950176 is the U.S. patent number. You'll find something called the virtual specialist, invented by Max Keiser in 1996, which explains in detail how to create artificial markets and virtual markets with virtual securities and a virtual security for a game. Not the U.S. economy. Not the global economy. So here they are, gaming you. You're the victim. You're the loser, as they keep the price of silver cheap, cheap, cheap. But to do this, and to keep pumping these naked short sales into the market, they use lots and lots of borrowed money, and they are effectively short. They're short a lot of this silver. They're banking on the fact that their ability to keep it cheap with their paper will continue indefinitely. So then, now to get back to the beginning of my story. In the 11th of November, 2010, I'm on Alex Jones' show. Anyone listen to Alex Jones?
Yeah.
Only half? Okay. We started to crash JP Morgan buy silver at $26.50. The price of silver is now, I didn't check in the last few hours, but $40 an ounce, let's say, which is an enormous move in a short period of time. An enormous move. Because why? Because the shorts that have been put on the books by Blythe and JP Morgan, they've got to start covering those shorts. They're now buying to cover their ass, because they've got a huge liability. Every dollar that price of silver goes up, they've got like 40 billion in additional liabilities. If the price of silver goes above the stock price of JP Morgan, which is roughly $47 a share, it turns out they've collateralized their own stock to support the shorts on silver. E-N-R-O-N. Enron. Enron. Collateralize the stock of their own company to support a massive Ponzi scheme tied to oil, gas futures. JP Morgan is a $160 billion Ponzi scheme that the Silver Liberation Army is about to bust. Now here's the thing about silver. There's only about 1 billion ounces of it above ground. Half of that's committed to commercial accounts. That leaves $500 million at current price. You're talking about really only about $30, $35 billion worth of silver available. Of the 700 million ounces that are produced annually from the mining industry, 800 million is used up by commercial entities. It goes into your iPhones and the iPads and the solar discs, and it's used up. It's gone. It's in landfill somewhere. Never to be found again. It's done. They use it up. Silver is used. Unlike gold, which, you know, since for the past 5,000 years, the 150,000 tons of gold that have been mined are still above ground and in storage somewhere. The entire gold supply of the world would fill a cubic block, I forget the exact, approximately 2 Olympic swimming pool size block of solid gold. That's all the gold that exists in the world, about 150,000 tons, and that's it. Silver is actually also quite scarce. And as we buy ounces of silver and remove it from the stock, the public domain, from the banks, from the markets, and we put this silver in our safekeeping, in our vaults, the price is guaranteed to go up. Now, usually, in the entire panorama of investing and markets, the word guaranteed is used sparingly because it implies exactly what that word implies, a guarantee. And this is something that can be an issue for folks who, at the end of the day, for example, who were guaranteed that, well, the price of real estate can never go down. Buy land, they're not making any more of it. Jump on the property ladder. You ever notice there's the property ladder? It's never the property slide. Only on the property ladder. I want to go higher. So it's a word that it carries some risk. I'll get to your question in a moment, sir. Unless you have an important announcement.
No, I think just from an audience perspective.
The bubbles?
This chap here, I think he's distracting from your core message. I think he didn't
Okay.
I don't think he came here to blow bubbles. I think he came here to listen to you.
We want more bubbles.
All right. Who wants? We'll take a vote. Bubbles stay, hands up. Bubbles go.
Ask this guy. He came here to listen to you. You came here to listen to Max up to blow bubbles.
Somebody throw this guy out. All right. It's a monarchy here. I run the show. This is my show. You're interrupting my show. I don't give a flying fuck about the bubble man. To tell you the truth, I hadn't noticed the goddamn bubbles. He's not doing his job. You're a big guy, big lungs, and I see little bubbles. What are you, a frickin' Perrier? There's a bubble. No, I appreciate
Max,
that.
no, you're entertaining enough and engaging enough for that. It's a distraction, in fairness, I would say. No.
All right, sit down. You're fired. You're fired. Sit down. How about a big hand for Luke, the bubble man? All right, some more. We'll throw some more cards out. What do we got here? Oh, here's a good one. How timely. Here's the 5 of hearts. No? It's Gordon Brown.
Oh yeah.
Scumbag.
Talk about dunderhead. Do you know what happened in, what was it, it was around 2000, I guess?
He sold the gold.
Yeah, he sold half of Britain's gold. 300 tons at the absolute worst price for decades. Gordon Brown. I'm going to keep him. I'll throw darts at him later. Anyway, getting back to my digression. So the price of silver is moving up. The price, essentially, if everyone pulls silver out of the circulation, 1 ounce at a time or 1/10 ounce at a time, and we're coming up with a new 1/10 ounce silver Keiser, which is marketed by these guys in Canada. I don't have any involvement with them. They have free license of my name and my image. So it's just about me having a bug up my ass about banks. Is essentially what it's about. I believe I'm smarter than they are. I believe that I've discovered the vulnerability. And you know what? So far, I'm right. Because you know how I know I'm right? Because of the price. The price, you know, we started buying gold and silver on our Truth About Market show on Residence FM 104.4 in London with Max and Stacy. We've been doing that show for 5 years. gold was 200 pounds an ounce. It's now 1,000 pounds an ounce. Told people, don't buy real estate, buy precious metals. The cycle has turned. We're entering a multi-decade bull market for precious metals. Silver was $5 or $6, and it's been moving up ever since. Then 26.5 was the price on the Alex Jones show. It's now $40 an ounce. And the people say, well, we're not sure why it's so high. We think that there's supply out there. We don't put credence into this movement, this politicalization of the markets. But here's what I say to the terrorists on the terrorist cards, all 52 of them. I'm willing to play your game. I'm willing to play the game of capitalism. I'm willing to play the game of price discovery. I don't need to try to regulate you. I'm not going to try to pass laws to stop you. I'm not going to try to morally assuage you to behave like proper citizens in our community. I'm not going to put you in stocks and throw tomatoes at you. I'm not going to take you down to the guillotine and cut your fucking head off! Which is, of course, one solution that gained some currency a couple hundred years ago. And, you know, can anybody really argue with that?
No.
I mean, I don't...
Kill the Rothschilds first.
We'll get to that in a second. Just calm down. So anyway, so the price discovery mechanism is the key. The price of silver is moving up, and that's what I go by. I go by the price. If the price keeps going up, I'm right, you're right, we're right. We're pulling our wealth back from the Sean Fitzpatricks of the world, from the Anglo-Irish banks of the world, from the corrupt banking system. They stole the wealth, and that's what it is. There was no justifiable reason why they have this wealth. They stole it. Now we want to take it back. We're taking it back by using this fiat garbage euro here and other fiat currencies around the world, and we're buying precious metals, principally silver, because there's not much of it. And as a global effort to keep the price higher, we can move the price to $500 an ounce, which is a very big move from 40. And that is a game changer. That is a wealth, dynamic. And I'm willing to go purely on price. I don't really want to get involved in a discussion about whether or not Lloyd Blankfein or Jamie Dimon are morally reprehensible, and then talk about the merits or demerits of derivative contracts to any august body of regulators and media types. I'd rather just buy silver and watch them bleed. Watch them bleed out of every fucking orifice. Okay? Watch them crawl on the ground begging to get a job cleaning windshields. I'm getting angry now. Let me just cover a few more of these points on the